Hello beautiful planty people. It's Skully and welcome to Skully's Creations, where we talk about plants and occasionally do a creative project here and there. If that sounds like your thing, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bells to be notified next time I put out a planty video. Okay, so it's another month and you know what that means? Favorites! So yes, so it's favorites. We're gonna go over my top 5 favorites for past November, and with that being said, let's just get into it. So the first plant on my top 5 favorites for November is going to be the Dracaena lemon lime, and I'll tell you why. First off, I actually got this plant at a plant swap. This plant was given to me by Jason the Plant Dad. I will have his info linked down below. He's on TikTok, and thank you, Jason, by the way, if you're watching this. But yeah, so this was given to me, and I was super excited because I have seen this plant before and I was always really drawn to it, but normally it's like 20 bucks, and although that's not like a lot, I just was like, maybe later, and then Jason gave it to me and I was like, oh. So anyways, that's how I got this plant. Now the reason why she's my favorite is because number one, she's so easy to take care of. You just have to water when she's fully dry, and that takes about 2 weeks or so. And she's also really forgiving. So I know I have gone a little bit longer than I should have watering her, maybe like a few days or so. And she never gave me any type of issue. She's, again, really forgiving plant. So I would actually recommend this plant for beginners. It's a really good, easy, don't have to worry about watering too often. If you forget, again, she's forgiving. So all really cool things about this plant. On top of that, she's a fast grower. So this leaf, and then there's another one emerging in the middle that I can see. I don't think y'all will be able to see it, but maybe. Hold on, if I can get the right angle. Oh, I think you can see it. Oh, here we go. So a tiny little leaf emerging there, and she just keeps growing. She's so fast, and I really appreciate that. And then on top of that, let's take a moment to admire her foliage. So she has these really striking lime on the outer edges of her leaf, and on the inner edges it almost looks like a sage color, because if you can see, like in comparison to my nail is gray. She's almost like a gray blue color, and I just really think that's unique. And when I sat back and I thought about the top 5, when I was looking at her, I just realized, like, dude, she's been so easy. And I appreciate an easy, beautiful plant. So that's what this Dracaena lemon lime is. Oh, and can we just admire the fact that she's like pretty decently big and gives you like jungle vibes, right? Maybe? But anywho, that's why she's my favorite, and let's move on to the next plant. Okay, so this next plant is probably going to be no surprise to you because I love me a Syngonium. But it is going to be this Syngonium mojito. And this is her newest leaf. Just what? Like, why are you so beautiful? I love you so much. So, anywho, the reason why she is my favorite for this month is, one, this is her newest leaf, and as you can see, it's very mojito-like. And in addition to that, like the coloring, because it stands out a little bit more. It's a little bit more yellow. And with time, I'm hoping that it's going to be even more yellow, which is kind of interesting too, because with more light, the more variegation she has, but also the brighter that variegation is. Because I've seen this plant basically look like an aria, or aurea, however you want to say it. But I was like, is this a Syngonium aurea dupe? Maybe? You know? because it kind of gives me Oreo vibes when they're really, really bright. Because again, I've seen this, like the variegation has been so bright yellow that it almost looks like a Syngonium Oreo. So as this plant has given me more leaves, as I've put it in a really bright lit location, she has gotten more variegation. Now before that, I'll show you this leaf. Before that, she gave me this leaf, which in comparison to her older leaves, because this is how I got her, the variegation really came out. Like here's this one, slight variegation, and then there was this one too, which is okay. But as she's been, again, since I've had her in a really sunny spot, she gave me this one, and then she's recently given me this one. So as you can see, the variegation, you can see way more of it, and it is getting brighter. So anywho, that's why she just, again, really stood out to me this month, because she gave me that leaf and I was like, oh my god, it's working. Yes, you're just gonna be beautiful. And she really is just a beautiful plant. And again, I just really enjoy Syngonium, and some of the reasons why I enjoy Syngonium so much is because they're really easy care. They let you know when they need water, and there's so many beautiful varieties, and this is just one of many, many beautiful varieties of Syngonium. Again, because I wanted this variegation to come out a little bit more, I put her like right next to my south I put her right next to my south facing window on the windowsill, and it's been, as you can see, it's really paid off. Just like my Syngonium Panda, that one really took off with its variegation too. And I actually have them right next to each other on the windowsill, and they have just been loving that bright, bright sun. Oh, the mix, like the soil mix that I have her in, I have her in coco coir, perlite, and orchid bark. And very little orchid bark because I wanted her to retain moisture a little bit more. And plus, Syngonium don't mind that as long as you're not watering too often. They don't want their soil to remain moist. They want to be let dried out in between waterings. Oh, and she grows fairly quickly. So here's another new leaf emerging. Yeah. But yeah, that's my Syngonium mojito. If you have any questions about her, or if you have one yourself, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to know what plants you have as well. So yeah, Syngonium mojito. Ooh. All right, moving on to the next plant. So this next plant is kind of gonna be like a 2-for-1, because I have two plants in the same pot, but they're both doing really cool, and I just wanted to shout them out because I know a lot of us really love like aeroids and whatnot, but we got to give some love to the cacti too. So anyways, it's going to be these two plants. So this is actually a green euphorbia. I'll put the specific name of this euphorbia, but it's doing really good. So she has itty bitty new growth right on the top there. And you know, she's not the fastest grower, but at the same time, she is a really easy plant to take care of. Now, this one in particularly has just been growing like a beast, and I was really surprised, honestly, because most cacti grow fairly slow, but this one, no, this one just took off, and she just keeps on going and going. And it's been about a month now since I've put them inside, because I did have them outside for the whole summer, and when I brought them in, they didn't miss a beat, and she is still freaking growing. And then, you know, this is just her buddy next to her that just is living her best life too. So yeah, we're just giving some love to these cacti and euphorbia because they deserve love too, okay, y'all? They deserve it. Oh, and just real quick care, I water this plant, especially because it's in a plastic pot. I water this maybe every 2 months. like super easy. And yes, they need like a fair amount of light, but I don't have them directly next to my window or anything. I have them a little further back because that's just where I had the space. And they've been doing fine. No yellowing, no none of that. They're just easy going plants. So anyways, moving on to the next plant. Okay, so the next plant that we're going to be talking about is going to be this Scindapsus trubii, I believe is what it's called. I will have it on the screen for you. But yeah, so here's the reason why she's my favorite is one, she's given me some new growth. Excuse this one. I don't know what happened when she was developing, but she just didn't come out cute. But I'm also not going to remove this leaf because it still can photosynthesize and help the plant. So I'm just gonna leave it there until she has maybe more leaves where I can cut it off for aesthetic reasons. But anywho, so Scindapsus are pretty slow growers, but in the past couple of months, I've noticed that one, she has given me those 2 leaves, and as you can see right here, she has more leaves emerging. So what that tells me is that she has a pretty good root system established in this pot now. And with that, she's now been able to push out more growth. Now, I also want to show you that she's actually in this plastic that's much smaller than this cover pot. But I like the colors together because these are literally my favorite colors, like the sage green, color. Well, I mean, it's very silvery, but it also looks very sagey. So like sage and pink, my absolute favorite colors. So I just had to put them together. So a little bit of info on how to water her. So her leaves will actually curl when she needs water. And that's when I water her, is when I see her leaves curl a little bit, because here's the thing. You can check the soil with your moisture meter or chopstick, and she can be completely dry and she still won't need water. And the reason I wait until she has her leaves curled is because I don't want to overwater her. So I let her tell me when she's thirsty by looking at her leaves, and if they're a little bit curled, that's when I give her a good watering, and I soak the soil and she's good to go. But yeah, she's also in a pretty chunky mix. The potting mix that she's in right now is organic potting mix, perlite, and orchid bark, and she does really well in that because, again, she is a plant that wants aeration in her soil. So yeah, I actually originally got this plant and it was much bigger. It was probably like this big, but I split it and I gave my boyfriend's mom a real big chunk of it, and I kept the least amount of plant of the plant. With that, the root system was already pretty well established. So I potted it up for her. I gave it to her just so she can have a little bit more variety, because she has a lot of Syngonium. She has like these really huge Syngonium white butterflies. So I wanted to give her a plant that was easy and a plant that like just looked a little different. And she really, really loved this plant because of like its silver leaves. She just thought it was really beautiful, and her plant's doing really well. But anyways, the light, you can put her in a fairly low lit location. She's okay. Right now, I have her in medium to low light, but she appreciates, of course, bright and direct. But she's a real easy plant for lighting as well. So anyways, again, I wanted to show her some love this month, and this is Scindapsus Moonlight Trubii. And on to the next plant. Okay, so the final plant of today's video is going to be a Begonia messeniana. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I don't know, I'll put it on the screen. But I'm gonna have to give you some B-roll on it because she's actually a begonia in my terrarium. And the reason why she's in my top favorites of this month's video is because, y'all, she is a tough begonia. I've had some type of issue with some of the begonias in my terrarium when I plant them in. a lot of the times either I planted it too soon, or the humidity wasn't high enough, or like there's been some type of issue with with the begonias, and I'm still learning about begonias and I'm still going through it. But I think that I'm starting to get a little bit more of a hang of it. But regardless, with all of that learning that I'm doing with begonias and the tank environment and all of that, this begonia, I have not lost a single leaf on this begonia, and I am so thankful. Also, the begonia is variegated and it has a little bit of pink variegation, and that's actually the reason why I got it, because again, I love me a pink plant. And yeah, when I got home, I potted her right in to the tank, which probably I shouldn't have done right away. Give your plants time to acclimate to your home or to its new environment before repotting the plant. But I didn't do that because I was so excited to put her in the terrarium and get her established in there and everything. But because she's a very easy begonia, she didn't give me any trouble with that transition when I repotted her right away. I've had her in different conditions. Like, for example, I left the tank open the last week that I was at my boyfriend's house, and I did lose one begonia, which I think is because I didn't have it closed, which didn't give her enough humidity, but I needed also the airflow to be there. So that's why I left it just slightly open. And again, only one begonia gave me issues with that. All the other ones, that was exactly what they needed. But anyways, that begonia just never gives me any issues. And I haven't watered her since, I think I may have watered her once when I put her in, and it has been months, y'all. It has been at least, oh, let me think. It's been at least 4 to 5 months since I've had her, and I haven't had to water her because she's in the tank, and that tank retains a lot of moisture, so it takes a long time for those begonias to even need water. So that's the reason why I haven't needed to water her. But she's been super easy to take care of, and I would recommend you get her if you are entering that tank realm and you want something that isn't going to like totally die on you right away. It's a little bit hardier. This is a good one. Now, I also will say I did get her with a pretty established root system. I didn't get her as a propagation or anything like that. I have noticed that when propagating begonias, you really, really do want to leave them alone. You don't want to disturb them too soon while they're developing, because that can just lead to you completely losing the plant. So that's just a tip that I've learned while taking care of begonias. But I'm sure next year I'll have a lot more tips for you with begonias, because again, I'm still learning about them myself. So anyways, that is my begonia. I hope you loved her just as much as I do, because she's so cute and pink. And yeah. Okay, y'all, with that being said, that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed top 5 plants of November. If you didn't, let me know down in the comments below. But if you did, please like this video. I would appreciate it. And also, let me know what your top 5 favorite plants are. I would love to hear that. I'm always rambling about mine. Why don't you let me know about yours too? So anyways, I hope you'll have a wonderful planty day, and I'll see y'all next Friday. Bye!